Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
Somehow I can still see. Children look like burnt paper. Black. Not moving. And then the blast wave hits them. And they fly apart like leaves.
Dreams. The end of the world are very common.
It's not a dream anymore, it's real. I know the date it happens.
I'm sure it feels very real to you.
On August 29th, 1997, it's gonna feel pretty fucking real to you, too. Anybody not wearing 2 million sunblock is gonna have a real bad day. Get it?
3 people have been killed and more than 170 others have been injured in a terror attack in southeastern Iran. The blast, in fact, took place near the grave of Iran's assassinated General Qasem Soleimani. The death toll is, of course, expected to rise further. The Iranian authorities have called the blasts in Soleimani's hometown a clear case of a terror attack. The Iranian authorities are expecting that the figure of those who have been killed and also those who have been grievously wounded could in fact rise. The Red Crescent rescuers are at the scene and they are said to be attending to the wounded. Now, according to a Red Crescent Society official, evacuating the injured from the area is proving to be extremely hard as all the paths to the mosque have been blocked. Now, the explosions took place during a ceremony that was underway to mark the 4th anniversary of Qasem Soleimani's assassination by the Americans. Now, remember, Qasem Soleimani, the top Iranian general, was assassinated by the Americans in a drone strike at the Baghdad International Airport on this day 4 years ago in 2020. He was the head of the Revolutionary Guard Quds Force, an elite unit that handled Iran's overseas military operations. Now, the Americans, of course, dubbed the IRGC to be a terror outfit. Iran's state news agency has shared a satellite image showing the distance between the 2 bombings. The 2 bombs reportedly were detonated just about 300 meters apart. And this is a terror attack that has taken place on the 4th anniversary of the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. Now, to give us more perspective on this, we're being joined by Ms. Ferishteh Sadri, who's a journalist who's joining us from Iran on this broadcast via phone line. Now, Ms. Sadri, this is an attack that has taken place on the 4th anniversary of the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. How is the Iranian government looking at this terror attack?
Thank you for having me. The most important point about this terror attack is that all the people who've been killed in this attack are civilians, women, men, elderly. I read that among the dead are 6 children. 103 people, among them 6 children, is too much. And as far as I've noticed, it is the worst terror attack that is happening in Iran in 4 decades. And that's in addition to the number of injuries that some of them are in dire situation. So the Iranian authorities look at it as a sheer example of terrorism, a sort of terrorism that is directly aided and abetted by Iran's arch enemies, Israel and the United States. So I'm sure that today, tomorrow, or the days coming, they will blame the U.S. and Israel for this attack. And there hasn't been any group, but it should be mostly a group such as Daesh or Takfiri groups that they are somehow
Iran, near the grave of a top Revolutionary Guards commander. State television says the blast occurred in quick succession in the city of Kerman during a ceremony to mark the anniversary of the killing of Qasem Soleimani. He was Iran's most powerful military commander and was killed in 2020 by a US airstrike in Iraq. Local officials say 2 bags containing explosives were detonated by remote control at the entrance to the burial site. Well, with more on this, I'm joined now by the BBC Persian's Paham Gawadi, who's in our newsroom. Paham, good to talk to you. Just bring us up to date on what more we know.
So as you mentioned, this is one of the deadliest attacks in Iran in the past 40 years. It's been unprecedented. The number of the death toll is rising every few minutes so far. They say that some of those who are injured are in critical conditions. We know that at least one medic was among the casualties who was killed. Two others are at least in critical conditions. They say that after the first explosion took place, when people and medics rushed to the scene, the second explosion after 10 minutes took place. Now, what we don't know is that if all these people were killed as a result of the explosion, or some of them were killed because of the stampede. And the reason I'm saying that is because 4 years ago, this happened during a ceremony marking the 4th anniversary of Qasem Soleimani's death. He was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq in 2020. Now, during his burial 4 years ago, 56 people were killed in a stampede. So what we don't know at this stage is that those who were killed today, some of them were killed in a stampede, again, because of the panic and the chaos at the scene, or no, all of them were killed as a result of the two explosions that took place there.
And what reaction have we had to this so far?
So Iran has considered this as a terrorist act against Iran, and they said that they would definitely retaliate to whoever is responsible for this. No group has claimed responsibility for this. Iranian media has also rejected the claims by Israeli media that a top Iran's Revolutionary Guard commander was killed. They said that no commander.
Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep, as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken, are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For God hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord.
How the United States is going to declare war on Iran. What he said was that Israel is going to basically go to war over the uranium enrichment that Iran is going to pursue. And after Israel goes to war, we're going to go and back up Israel. So this is some of what to tell us. So let's continue on here.
Here's the way this is headed. If they start enrichment at the levels they're talking about in a few days, Israel over time will have to respond. There's one nation on the planet that's not going to give the Iranians the pass on their nuclear program. That's Israel. Israel will, as a last resort, attack to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran. We will come to their aid.
As a last resort, he says. So he admits that, for one, Iran can, because we have no nuclear deal with them, remember? So the deal that we had with them was going to prevent them from enriching their uranium. Well, we tossed that deal out of the window a year ago, so they're free to do whatever they want. They still have a deal with Europe, but they announced to Europe on Monday that they were going to start their nuclear program again, that they were going to start amping up their uranium enrichment in 10 days from Monday. So now, we don't really have a reason to turn on them and say, you can't do this. And what's interesting about this is Israel was actually one of the main nations telling us, Israel and Saudi Arabia were the two nations that absolutely did not want a nuclear deal with Iran. They didn't want this deal. So now we don't have the deal. They got what they wanted. And now Iran is saying, okay, well, we have no deal. So I guess we can go ahead and up our enrichment of uranium. And now that is going to be cause somehow for Israel to go to war with Iran. And after Israel goes to war with Iran, we're going to be there to back them up. So you see, we don't have to be the bad guys in this. We don't actually have to be the ones to declare war. Israel will do it. And they're our allies. And we have